Alright, so for week 12 of summer anime, we're finishing up most of these shows, so yeah, cool, exciting finales. Let's get into it. Starting off with Tokyo Revengers episode 24. Yes, this is the finale, so cool, chunky 24 episode season. Great shonen anime, actually. I kind of like see why like this manga is so popular now, like doing record numbers. It feels like the cliffhangers between arcs are really insane, so it's like you really want to know what's happening. Over here, we see Takemichi's life in the future. He's a gang star, so he solved everything. Now he's not some like minimum wage dude. He's actually like working like top, like he's in the upper echelons. He's like one of the founding members, I guess. Yeah, he commands a whole squad. His friends are also there. They also like glowed up, so it looks like they're living life pretty nice. Like Takemichi has like a cool expensive apartment. Everyone's like respecting him. So yeah, the gang life is pretty good right now, 12 years in the future. Kisaki's also there. Like Kisaki's also a head guy. But he seems to be a little nicer now. So it's like, okay, nice Kisaki. I'll put my guard down a little. Maybe he's cool. Psych, he's not. But we'll get to that later. So yeah, we see Takemichi. They go to an expensive restaurant because apparently they have like this monthly gang meeting. Apparently there's a rat. There's a Judas. So apparently like some of the police are raiding the clubs of the Manji gang. So yeah, Takemichi and everyone, they're just in a meeting together. We see him and Chifuyu. They're also like partners together. So yeah, Chifuyu looking nice. Also, Takemichi's trying to contact Naoto on his phone. He can't get his contact at all. So him and Tachibana, like what happened to them? Him and Hinata? It seems pretty crazy. Like Takemichi's like a huge gangster now, but like he forgot about like his girlfriend and like his whole mission. So yeah, it's funny. I guess like every time he time skips, he like kind of lives his life on autopilot. And then yeah, he's just kind of spectating this timeline. He doesn't know what to do, so he's just following people. So then he sees Kisaki. He wants to talk to him and Chifuyu one on one. And then he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry for everything that happened 12 years ago with Baji and everyone. Like it was me. I like kind of like was the leader of the Valhalla gang. I kind of like dictated everything, made Hanma fight you guys." So then yeah, Kisaki was always trying to get rid of Baji. And then the fact that Takemichi kind of like I guess like throwed off his plans because Mikey wasn't like arrested or anything. Kisaki's kind of salty, so he pretends to be friends with Takemichi and Shifuyu, and then he kind of spikes their drink, which is like pretty obvious. It's like, come on, don't trust this like the evilest person ever. And then yeah, they both get drugged, they get put to sleep, and then tied up in a chair. And then yeah, Kisaki's about to kill them under the threat of like them being the rats. Chifuyu admits that he's not the rat, but he wanted Kisaki to be kicked out of the gang and arrested. So then yeah, he gets shot in the head. Takemichi's just all crying because he also gets shot in the leg. Chifuyu's last words to him are kind of like what everyone said to him. "Oh, you got this, Takemichi. It's all you. Like, stop crying. Do your thing." So then, yeah, Takemichi got like more dead people's weights on his shoulders. I think it's like first it's Hinata, then it's Aku, then it's Draken, and now it's Chifuyu on top of all of that. So yeah, each arc as he keeps going, he has like one more person to rescue, kind of. So yeah, that's pretty shocking. Takemichi got shot in the leg. His boy Chifuyu's dead. What's gonna happen now? Because if like you die right now, you can't go back in time. So I'm kind of thinking since it ended on a cliffhanger over there, like a to be continued, like I guess Naoto is gonna like there's gonna be like a police raid and maybe Naoto's gonna save Takemichi. They're gonna like shake hands. He's gonna go back in time, and then yeah, we have another kind of like crazy arc to like go through maybe until he solves the problem. So yeah, that's how I can see how like popular the series has gotten. Where it's like yeah, Takemichi doing boring middle school shit and how he's like graduated to becoming like a level 100 gangster. It's pretty cool seeing how the story develops because it's like, oh shit, some new shit is happening every arc. So yeah, that's interesting. The issue is though, like the actual content of the arc, at least in this anime, was like pretty lackluster. Takemichi had like no agency. He couldn't do anything himself. It seems like his only power is to get like beaten up constantly, and then people are like looking at him like, oh shit, he's tough. He has heart. So then, yeah, I assume that's gonna keep happening. Takemichi's just gonna get beaten up, and everyone's just gonna kind of see him and get inspired and kind of like change the timeline themselves. So Takemichi's like 100% the spectator, but then his like presence, like I don't know, makes everyone feel a little bit better. Despite that, it was a cool finale. We see Takemichi in the future, like finally a gangster, but the timeline still isn't as good as what it should be. People are still dying. This second half of the anime we had in the summer was like pretty decent, I guess. I love the first half a little bit better since it kind of started off strong. The second half, Baji was cool, but he died. And I didn't really care about Hanma. Draken didn't really do too much either. The backstories we got of the characters weren't really that powerful either as well, so there wasn't really anything special in the second half. It was just like kind of just setting up for more things about Takemichi just trying to save the timeline. You know you're in for the long haul when the show keeps piling up more mysteries, more things to do, without explaining other things in the process. Because we still don't know like how shit happens in the future. We don't know how Draken gets executed. We don't know how like why Mikey disappeared. And we don't know how like the Manji gang devolved into like some evil murdering criminal gang. So yeah, this anime is definitely decent. I recommend it if you like scrapping, gang violence, like all these kind of little bitty fights. But overall, it's a bit disappointing because like we're nowhere near any kind of conclusion at all. And it's hard to stay interested when every arc is just Takemitchy gang beat up. But yeah, overall, like a pretty cool shonen. Like, even though the anime had a bunch of like shitty, boring moments with Takemitchy just getting beaten up and all like this generic kind of like speeches and everything, it was still like pretty action packed and the story was like pretty unique in general. Like, some dude about to go back through time to better himself and these middle school gangs just beating each other up, which is like pretty fun. Okay, so for Miss Kobayashi-san's Dragon Maid S, episode 11. So yeah, this episode has 2 parts, and it was kind of like the sad slice of life kind of ending, near ending episode where we got some feels, so it was pretty cool. I love seeing the wholesome dragons, but I also need some story in this anime. Start off with Kobayashi. She kind of has like back pains for like sitting down so much, so she's buying all these like massage equipment, and then Toru's like, "Yo, just eat my tail. It'll make you feel so much better." And then Kobayashi's like, "Nah, like no matter what, I ain't eating that tail." So yeah, Toru's really sad that Kobayashi doesn't want to like take her help. But then Kobayashi also feels sad because she feels like she's neglecting Toru's needs. So she kind of asks other people, Alma and her coworker, "Oh, what should I do to kind of link up with Toru a little better?" And then they're like, "Oh yeah, try to understand her feelings." And then Kobayashi kind of like negotiates with Toru, and then instead of eating her tail, she uses Toru's tail as like a massager. So yeah, that was kind of cute. Toru and Kobayashi just like massaging each other and getting closer. Also, in the second half of the story, it was like kind of like cool Toru backstory. We kind of learned about all the dragons. So yeah, Kobayashi gets called into the director's office where she sees Toru's dad over there. So apparently Shota's dad, he kind of like uses knowledge from the dragon world to kind of like invent code and create new things. So he's kind of like stealing knowledge from the dragon world and implementing it into the human world. But yeah, anyway, we see Toru's dad. He explains, oh, this is why Toru left and everything. And oh, how like all the dragons are actually good people. So yeah, back in the day, the dragons, they kind of wanted to be free. They were like oppressed by the gods. So like they decided to just like fight back against the gods. The thing is like there's like half of the dragons didn't want to fight back, so they kind of like divided into 2 groups, the Harmony group that didn't want to fight the gods, and then the Chaos group that wanted to fight the gods. But they weren't really evil, they just wanted freedom. And then there's also like the spectator faction that like, oh no, they were just watching, they were neutral. But yeah, Toru's dad wanted her daughter to be free, so she's like, alright, don't be involved in this war. Instead go like hang out with the humans, go travel, and maybe you'll discover something about yourself. So yeah, that's where like kind of Toru's personality formed. She ran around the world. She met all these like cute little dragons. We see her talk to Kana, Fafnir, Elma, and Lukoa. And then Toru kind of realizes that she doesn't want anyone to fight. So if she could end the fight herself, then like, everyone's gonna be happy. So she decides to target the gods all by herself and fight them. Like the gods look like generic Greek gods. Like there's this dude that just throws like this giant javelin at her. And yeah, that's where she got her injury. And she kind of like teleports herself into the human world where she meets Kobayashi. So yeah, Toru never really wanted to be alone. She wanted a place where like, I don't know, everyone can like be happy together. And she found that place on Earth with Kobayashi. So it's kind of like a happy, feel-good moment. We see Toru's backstory and then like Kobayashi finally learns this. So yeah, nice happy ending. And this was kind of like the cool slice of life feels episode. So we got that out of the way. And I'm curious to see how they'll finalize the anime next week. Okay, so for the Idaten Deities Only Know Peace, episode 9. It's the wrap up of the battle. We see the Idaten just like overwhelmingly beat all the evil people. We see the new Idaten nun. She's trying to get stronger. And we get some lore where if an Idaten gets pulled out by another Idaten, it shapes their personality. So the fact that Gel got pulled out by Hayato, and then Hayato is like really always trying to train and be stronger, it means that Gel also wants to be stronger. The thing is that their teacher, Rin, she's like mind broken. She can't like handle it. She knows that the demon lord, it's like kind of her grandfather, I guess. So she doesn't want to like fight him. All the people that she loved, they kind of like died, and then yeah, she was like holding on to all of this grief for like hundreds of years. So yeah, she's kind of like taken out of commission for now, which might be a bad thing. Pronte is trying to like wrap up the remaining demons running around. He's trying to kill them. So then there's a few of them. They're basically the ones that are related to Brandy. So one of them is like this girl with like the hair powers, but she's also like really dumb. So she's running away with her partner. And then yeah, they escape underground. Another one of the demons is really smart. He's kind of like compared to Eastly at how smart he is. And we also see the last remaining demon. him and his partner, she gave birth to this demon. So they're kind of like chilling on an island, and it's like this red slime monster absorbing some whales or sharks. So it's like gonna grow a lot bigger. So yeah, they're setting up for some more villains in the future. Also, we see Miku. She's like really smart. So Miku kind of like breaks into someone's home. It was like this shut-in woman. And then her plan is to camp inside of there for 2 years. And then soon the Idaten will forget about them so they can like safely contact the Demon Lord and go like step 2 of their plan. So yeah, they break into someone's home, they kill her, and they take her face. There's like 2 episodes left, and we kind of have to solve all these problems without the help of Rin because she's like kind of traumatized. So I wonder if our Idaten are strong enough to do the job. Okay, so for the case study of Vanitas episode 12, this is the finale. We kind of ended off with a bromance between Vanitas and Noe. The anime is finished, so it's like it was pretty good story so far, but it's like there's like a to be continued, so I don't know if there's like a OVA or something, like a season 2 coming up for it. But yeah, the story was nice, the comedy was like great, animation was fun, music was good. And then it's like we kind of barely scratched the surface on anything. There's still like these evil vampires, there's like this curse. We don't know like anything about Vanitas' backstory that much, so yeah, all of that is still a mystery to us. We see that John, she's taking orders from this other dude who's kind of like evil. He's the guy that poisoned Noe, and he did something evil to him where he's like, all right, I'm going to ask you for one request. You're not going to know when or where, but you're going to have to follow that. Basically made a pact with Noe to like kind of have him listen to his one request whenever he wants. So yeah, they're setting up something for him, like where he is gonna just like betray Vanitas or something. We end the anime with Vanitas and Noe just like traveling again, taking a train, probably going on the next step of their journey, just like exploring why like, you know, stuff's going bad. We also see other characters like Roland, where he's trying to like do his own thing to like help the vampires out too. So yeah, in the end, just like a really cool vampire anime. It was funny because there was a lot of cool comedy scenes mixed in with just like a bunch of serious action. So the tone was just like really lighthearted. There was one thing I kind of did have a problem with the story. It's just that like it was hard to get attached to it at all because it was kind of like a random standalone story. These characters seemed kind of deep, but it was kind of hard to care about them too much. There's a lot more room in the future to kind of expand the anime because overall what we got was like Vanitas and Noe hanging out, them solving a few problems, fighting some random people, and then in the end, like, nothing really gets resolved with the world either. But the story was really good nonetheless. Okay, so for Kanojo Mo Kanojo, episode 12, this is the finale. And it was very Nagisa focused, so we kind of see why she likes Naoya so much. But yeah, overall, kind of like a great trash way to end the anime. We kind of like resolve nothing, and it's just like still a dumpster fire all the way. Overall, though, yeah, we get Nagisa's kind of explanation. Still doesn't really make any sense, but yeah, she was always like failing at everything she tried in life. And then she was like taking the entrance exams for high school. And then she comes across Naoya and Saki, where Naoya's like, okay, yo, if we pass and go to high school together, can I go out with you finally? And then Nagisa's like, yo, this dude's crazy. What's wrong with him? He can't take no for an answer. And then he's like publicly embarrassing Saki. So now he's kind of like a shitty person. How could anyone fall in love with him? But then Nagisa got inspired. She's like, this dude's actually trying. He's not afraid of failing. He's not giving up. He's still trying. Which isn't really that good when you're asking a girl out on a date and she just rejects you all the time. Where you should really take no for an answer. She passes the high school entrance exams and then she's like, oh shit, I'm falling for Naoya. But then yeah, now he's going out with Saki, so it's like she gets kind of like, I wouldn't say jealous, but she just falls in love with him. And then I'm here thinking like, Nagisa, why don't you just try bettering yourself and I don't know, focus on a boyfriend later? This is high school romance. First of all, it's not that serious. But no, yeah, she falls for him, trying to better herself, learn how to cook, and like kind of like do things to make her fall for her. So then she's like, oh, I'm safe with being the second option. Like you don't have to focus on me. You could love Saki more than me. And then now it's like, no, that won't do. I love both of you equally. And then you have to be the number one, Nagisa. So it's like Nagisa's kind of running away. Now he's chasing after her. And then their conversations like so dumb. It doesn't matter at all. It's basically like, oh, Nagisa, you have to be number one in your heart, or you'll never be happy. You have to prioritize your happiness. So yeah, shit like that. It's fine. So all of the girls are kind of like together now, and they're like they kind of understand each other. The air is cleared. We see that Shino like does not approve of this relationship at all. She's rooting for Saki to be number one. She asks Saki, oh, why doesn't she just break up with Naoya? Why would she accept like this happening? And then Saki's like, oh, Nagisa has good cooking. So yeah, we see in the story, because these characters are kind of just like normal anime characters. Saki's kind of just like clumsy and normal. We see Nagisa, she just like wants to better herself. We see Milka, she has her own hobbies. And then Shino is just like Saki's friend. And then once we put Naoya in the mix, it's just like the whole story just like collapses. Everyone's just like going crazy, two timing, three timing, all these like random sexual moments. So yeah, the story's like very trash, but it's funny to see like these girls are normal and they have normal backstories. It's just that this situation is just like written to be just like random anime hijinks. So yeah, the anime kind of like uses that to its favor, where like you kind of like feel for some of these characters sometimes. In the end, yeah, trash, nothing gets resolved. The girls are still living with each other. Shino doesn't give them their blessing. I'm not interested in like the conclusion of the story, so I don't care which girl wins. So yeah, we end the anime there. Very trash anime this season. It was very popular though, so I had to check it out. I already knew what to expect when going through it, so I wasn't really disappointed or let down. Yeah, nothing much to see here. I'll probably forget about it, so yeah, definitely not worth watching, but if you're curious, you can. Okay, so for Peach Boy Riverside episode 12, this is the finale. Cool kind of finale for this fantasy anime, although this isn't like the last episode of the anime technically, it's like kind of like in the middle. We already saw the last episode a few weeks ago. But yeah, over here, Sally kind of like goes ham. She beats the tree demon and the nun. So we see Sally, her motivation, she wants to like kind of make humans and demi-humans all be friends. But then the tree demon's kind of like egging her on. He's like, yo, you can't like solve everything by like being peaceful. You gotta fight, you got hatred inside of you. And then we learned that the Onis, they're actually born from the hatred of humans. And then the Peach Boys, they're kind of like born to counteract that hatred. So they're always destined to fight each other. So when Sally gets all angry and she's like, all right, if I can't talk to you, I'll just beat you up. So yeah, she punches the nun. She kind of had no chance. And we learned that she has like a broken horn, so she's like a mid-level demon. She's never like strong enough to be high level. And then Sally also like kind of punches the tree and breaks it. So yeah, that was cool. Sally turns into the One Punch Man really quick. And then all the problems are solved. We see that the nun, she kind of runs away, so yeah, we know what happens to her later. Mikoto kind of like handles her. And then we see Sally and her friends all coming along on their journey. So yeah, cool like fantasy show. We kind of have our party. We have the Peach Boys, their power. It's still mysterious, but yeah, we kind of know the origins of them now. Like they just like keep being born into different worlds. And then it seems like they kind of inhabit different people's bodies. So yeah, I really like the anime. Obviously, the uneven episode order was just like really bad. But besides that, yeah, the story was like very fun. I really loved the characters. Winnie's design was so hot. All the Onis, they're also like pretty cool in their own way. Although I didn't really like how like random they were. Like some of them were like lollies. Some of them were kind of humanoid and some of them were just like kind of like animal monsters. Besides that, like cool fantasy environment. And the main characters, Sally and Mikoto, they're also like cool and badass. So they kind of carried the anime. I think one of the downsides was the animation, because the art was nice, but like, the animation was just like kind of like few frames. But yeah, besides that, it was very interesting seeing the journey of the Peach Boys. Okay, so for Remake Our Life, episode 11. So we see Kyoya solving the problems. We see like the game got glitched, so Kyoya's like, "Oh, I got experience with crunch and like handling like failing games." So he's like, "All right, we got to send a good ass apology. We got to like remake our system. We got to revamp the whole engine." And he's like, "Oh, we already spent our budget on this secondary engine that works." So yeah, he kind of relegated his budget to kind of like solve the problems. And then the manager's like, "Yo, this is a waste of money. We can't do this." And he's like, "No, we already have the money for this." So it's kind of crazy to see like Kyoya's already like he literally solved the problem. He has access to like all their finances and everything. And he's like, "Oh, everyone should take 2 days off as well before preparing for like kind of revamping everything." So yeah, everyone's like, "Oh shit, this dude, he's got some good ideas." And then yeah, everything is solved, I guess. The thing is though, we see the red-haired girl, Aiko, she's kind of like taking a trip. So then Kyoya's like following her to the airport and he's kind of like scared. He's like, "Oh shit, did I make her quit? Did I like kind of upstage her?" And then yeah, she's kind of no, she's like just taking a vacation, but this is kind of like a good moment between both of them. They kind of talk about their feelings, but then after that we see like oh, kind of like the problems that arose in this future. Mainly because during college, Kyoya just like he tried to do everything himself. So he kind of like unintentionally like destroyed all of their dreams by like taking over all their projects. And then Aiko always wanted to offer her help. So yeah, Aiko also admits that she likes him. So that was a kind of cute moment. She became a pretty cool match for Kyoya. And she's also like the first girl we saw in the anime, so first girl rules. So yeah, basically she admits that she likes him, and that Kyoya shouldn't handle everything himself. He should like rely on other people. So then yeah, that was a nice moment as she kind of leaves on her trip and Kyoya's by himself. And then he's pretty happy with this timeline he's created now. He's like, all right, we're solving the problems, even though like shit broke, like we're doing it. And then the pink-haired girl comes in. She's kind of like the Time Lord, so yeah, she realizes that Kyoya solved this timeline, so she's like, oh, would you like to redo it again? Alright, so for Fena, Pirate Princess, episode 7. This was kind of a cool episode, pretty brutal. We see Fena, she kind of got rescued from the ship. We see that the dude that kind of kidnapped her, he's a bit crazy. He's like, oh, why did Fena's mom not love me? Why did she kind of abandon me? So we see that he was kind of like simping for Fena's mom, but Fena's mom kind of rejected her. But yeah, he's like a super villain now. And then we see like their ship, they have like these like extreme like heavy weapon cannons that they're just firing. And they just like blow up everything. So they targeted the ship with all those pirate waifus and blow them up, which is pretty brutal. It looked like they all died, but I feel like some of them might be alive. So yeah, these like blue coated, I guess British people, they're evil. But then yeah, Yukimaru and his boys, they come and save the day. They fight everyone, they drop some smoke bombs and rescue Fena. It was a cool fight scene because we see everyone just like slashing and killing all these soldiers. And yeah, in the end, they escape on their submarine and go continue their adventures. Now that we have Fena and the coordinates, we can, I guess, find the treasure next. Okay, so for Tsukimichi, or Moonlit Fantasy, episode 11. So I was watching this anime kind of slowly. I thought it was kind of like generic isekai again, but I kind of had to like maybe take a look at it. Maybe there's something to it. But yeah, overall, it is generic isekai, but it has some charm to it. So it kind of feels like there's some Konosuba vibes mixed in with I was reincarnated as a slime, mixed with some shield hero. So yeah, all of that kind of like is basically what this isekai is all about. It's basically about this dude Makoto, and then he got isekai'd, and then now like the goddess thought he was like ugly as fuck, so she's like, "All right, bro, get out of my face." Even though he was kind of like this normal black haired generic looking guy, but yeah, he kind of got expelled to the edges of the world where there's just like a bunch of like orcs and goblins and everything, so kind of like the monster races. And then she kind of gives him the power to speak any language besides the human language. So he can communicate with all the other species really easily, but all the humans to kind of run away from him. So yeah, our main character Makoto, he's just like super OP, just like super strong. So slowly he kind of like gets these two animal waifus. One is a dragon waifu and one's a spider waifu. They kind of make contracts with him and then like they just join his party. And they're like his servants basically. And he also has the power to kind of analyze his surroundings really quickly. So yeah, that's his isekai power. So then yeah, the comedy's pretty decent. That's why it feels like Konosuba, because it's like it's not like super parody, but it's just like this dude got kicked out for being so ugly, so he kind of like has no purpose. He's not fighting the demon lord, he's just doing his own thing. Both of his party members are also super strong, the spider waifu and the dragon waifu. So they all go on like cool missions together. But yeah, anyway, in this episode it's kind of brutal because like their village, it kind of got raided by humans, and then there was like this big explosion. So the main dude got kind of angry, so he killed a person. And he's like, "Oh, this is the first human I killed. I feel bad." And it was kind of like this evil scene. He cut off her hands and killed her. And then at the end of this episode, it was kind of like pretty cool because we get our kind of first actual conflict. So I guess the goddess that kind of expelled him kind of found him and is like trying to kill him now. So then, yeah, he's getting attacked by this other woman, short-haired girl with like this big sword. So I guess she's like another isekai hero, maybe. And then I guess we'll see how he handles this, because this is like kind of like the first serious situation he's actually in. Okay, so for the Aquatope on White Sand, episode 11, it's kind of a sad episode because the aquarium is like finally closing for real. It's just like being shut down. The old man, he's like, yeah, I've made a promise. I won't like keep opening the aquarium if everything's just failing, so I might as well just shut it down. Maybe like move the fish to better homes. And then yeah, Kukuru, the aquarium is all she has. It kind of like made her feel better after her parents died, so she does not want to have it being closed down. So she kind of like locks the aquarium. She shuts herself in. She kind of stages a protest, so she's just like chilling in the aquarium for now. And then yeah, no one else can get in, so it's pretty funny. The thing is, there's like this big tropical storm that's happening, so yeah, all the electricity goes out, and there's just rain everywhere, and it's cold. So then yeah, Kukuru's just like chilling in the aquarium while there's like this big massive storm approaching. So then Fuka comes in and tries to like hang out with Kukuru, and then Kukuru lets her in, as well as like them together bracing for the storm. So the electricity goes out, but the generator stays on. The pipes are leaking, the roof, there's just like so much water everywhere. The windows are actually breaking from all the wind, so yeah, damn. Either the storm is like very serious, or this aquarium is just like very fragile. So I wonder where it's gonna go from there if the aquarium gets shut down. What are they gonna do next? Since I thought the whole anime was about exploring the aquarium. But yeah, all the friends come and help them during the storm. They help clean up everything and then help feed the fish. Kukuru apologizes to Fuka. But yeah, pretty sad and rough episode, seeing both of their girls' dreams just like shatter. So yeah, I really wonder what's gonna happen now that the aquarium is closing. Like, this anime is slated for 24 episodes, so yeah, maybe the first half is the aquarium, second half is some other random shit. We will see. Okay, so for Higurashi One Day Cry Sotsu, episode 13. So we're kind of back to the present. So it kind of like felt very funny because the whole anime we have this season of Sotsu, it was basically a recap. Everything we saw was kind of stuff we already knew, just like in different people's point of views, but it kind of got old pretty quickly. Like the Rana arc was like pretty good since it was like some totally new like murdering shit. But yeah, now it's just like stuff we already know. We're back to the present. Rika's in the bad timeline, but like Hanyu's helping her. She's like trying to like break free of her memories. Cause then she sees like, oh, this world is kind of fake. Satoko's like kind of like behind it all. So then yeah, she breaks free because like Hanyu's like, oh, the only thing that can solve this is a miracle. And then yeah, we see that Ewa is also like kind of like torturing Hanyu, making her see Rika die all these times. So yeah, she kind of sets a trap for her where there's kind of like a boxing glove coming out of this box, and Satoko kind of flinches from it. But then Rika's like, yo, I took that punching bag away. Now it's just a teddy bear inside. So yeah, now that Rika calls Satoko out on her bullshit, Satoko pulls out the gun. And then yeah, we definitely need some new shit. Because this whole anime was kind of a recap, as I said. So they're really setting up this confrontation between Rika and Satoko. I can't wait. Okay, so for Jahy-sama, episode 7. It's kind of a nice episode again. All these episodes of Jahy are pretty laid back in their own way. But yeah, what happens here? First half of the episode, we see Jahy just like working out with her boss, her big tittied manager. She's just like, I don't know, squatting and everything, trying to lose some weight, so Jahy helps her out. They both do kind of intense bodyweight exercises, push ups, sit ups, jump rope, hula hoop, running. And then, yeah, they all train. Jahy's like really into working out, so she gets some gym coupons. But then the manager's like, oh, she already lost her target weight, so she's back to normal. So she doesn't want to work out anymore. And then she can't work out by herself without a partner. Like, come on, who does that? Anyway, after that, Jahy's like looking for some stones just randomly throughout the grass. But then she can't find any. And then she befriends this little girl. She's like to Jahy, oh, I'll help you find the stones. And then the little girl actually like listens to Jahy and calls her Jahy-sama. So Jahy's like, oh shit, I finally found someone that actually listens to me. Yo, she's not bad. So then yeah, this little girl, she's like a cute ball of sunshine, and then she just helps Jahy on her mission. They couldn't really find any magic stones, but she gives Jahy this 4-leaf clover for good luck. So yeah, it was pretty funny seeing Jahy get a new friend. But she still doesn't have a lot of magic stones, so I guess the anime goes on with Jahy trying to reclaim her kingdom. And yeah, that's it for week 12 of summer anime. A pretty cool week again, we got a lot of cool finishes, and I'm excited to see what we have in store next time.